First place, Pittsburgh, and their power plant is Pedro Alvarez. Figured in all 3 runs last night, including his 31st home run. Speaking of home runs, the Padres hope Chase Headley will turn on that switch. He's hit 6 in his career against the Pittsburgh Pirates. As we welcome you to beautiful Petco Park in downtown San Diego. Game 2 of the 3-game series, the Pirates and the Padres. And good evening, everyone. Along with Mark Sweeney, Dick Enberg, we're pleased you're with us. The Pirates beat the Padres last night. Well-pitched game, 3-1. The Padres need some hits and some runs.
Yeah, they do. They need to take the pressure off the pitching offensively. But last night against Liriano, very devastating stuff last night.
Well, Andrew Kastner allowed only 1 earned run, and perhaps the most interested spectator in the game last night was Tyson Ross. He's learning from his fellow pitcher, and looking at his report card, he's learning very well with a 1.29 ERA. That's one of the lowest since July 26 in the entire National League, and he credits his observance of the man who pitches before him.
Yeah, and I think Tyson Ross understands the severity of every start in the major leagues, and he takes it very seriously, but he also understands he can go to his teammate as well for some advice.
Ross explains his hidden advantage.
I mean, just watching him throw, we're very similar, and it gives me an opportunity to watch, a similar pitcher to myself directly, the day before. His change is phenomenal, for a guy that throws that hard and to have that finesse in his game. That's something I really want to work on, getting that back and forth going a little bit.
One of the things he may have learned is what not to throw. Pedro Alvarez, who hit his 31st home run last night.
Yeah, I think, Dick, you understand, too, you have to have fastball command. You have to work on the edges, but you also have to have secondary stuff to go along with that. The changeup is evolving, but he has a dynamic fastball with motion, but also movement and a devastating slider that has a lot of swings and misses.
Alvarez leading the National League in home runs. It was a big day here with the San Diego Padres. And we'll get to that in a moment. Here's Alvarez joining Kiner, Stargell, Giles, Bay as the only Pirates who have hit 30 home runs in back-to-back seasons. Quite an accomplishment, and he's only 26.
Dick, he's made some amazing adjustments, and it's all about driving the baseball. Now those strikeouts are easier to handle when you're talking about 30-plus home runs.
And with the news of the day, the introduction of the new San Diego Padres president, the man in command, Mike D. We'll hear from Laura and from Mike D. on the future of the San Diego Padres when we come back.
The Padres take on the Pirates for Game 2 of a 3-game series. Hi, everyone. I'm Laura McKeeman. And big news in Padre land today as Mike D was introduced as the new president and CEO of the Padres. He held his introductory press conference alongside Executive Chairman Ron Fowler and lead investor Peter Seidler, and definitely had lots to say about his expectations going forward for the Padres. Here's Mike D in our Geico quote of the game.
There's a culture to winning, not just winning on the field, but winning off the field. I think that tone has been set by this ownership group. I look forward to continuing that, striving for that excellence that I think they have set the bar at a very high level for me, for Josh, for the remainder, or for the rest of the organization as well. And I think collectively, actions speak louder than words, so judge us down the road, not today. But I think you'll see the effort and the commitment that's necessary to make this franchise one of the model franchises, not just in Major League Baseball, but in all professional sports.
Well, stay tuned to this broadcast because Mike D will join Dick Inberg and Mark Sweeney in the broadcast booth to give more of his thoughts, and you'll have an opportunity to get to know him more as well. And coming up, we've got Padres baseball on the way. First pitch is just around the corner. Tyson Ross on the mound for the Friars. Can he be the boss that he's been recently? We'll find out. It's all next on Padres baseball.
And Tyson Ross, good-looking heater, gets Ike Davis looking. He gets him swinging. Tyson Ross emerging as a star in the rotation for the San Diego Padres, has allowed only 5 runs in his last 5 starts, and he's on the hill tonight against this Pittsburgh Pirate lineup, brought to you by Hyundai. It'll be Jose Tabata leading off with Neil Walker, then Andrew McCutchen, their leading hitter. Pedro Alvarez, the leading home run slugger in the National League, 31, although he's tied now with Goldschmidt. He hit a grand slam, Goldschmidt, tonight. Russell Martin behind the plate, the ex-Dodger. Garrett Jones moves to right field from first base, and Gabby Sanchez takes over at the first base sack, and Jordy Mercer at shortstop hitting in front of A.J. Burnett.
Well, let's take a look at the scouting report for Tyson Ross. Keep the change in their minds. You have a 3-pitch mix. You got to show that early in the game, and also keep the walks to a minimum. He has lights out stuff, especially if he can get to that devastating slider.
First time ever starting against the Pittsburgh Pirates. And we're underway. A fastball strike at 93. Taken by Tabata. Last night, Tapeta 0 for 3, hit into a couple of double plays. And ahead on the count, 2 strikes is Tyson Ross, who is 26 years of age, as is Andrew Kastner, and built along the same lines. Both are 6'6". He's a little bit heavier, 230, and Kastner 220. But you can see why Ross benefits from watching Kastner pitch to the same lineup before he pitches to them.
Yeah, it's a good scouting report for him to have, and he talks about that as he throws that slider that gets away from him. But that's that dynamic and the chemistry that you try to get with your teammates, and they're developing a good chemistry.
And they've become good friends as well, rooting for each other. 2-2 now to top it up with Neil Walker and then Andrew McCutchen to follow in the Pittsburgh first inning. They start tonight. Pittsburgh 1 game in front of St. Louis, 2.5 ahead of Cincinnati in the National League Central. High fly ball, right fielder Venables circles under it. 1 away as we check the rest of the Padre defense, brought to you by Aramco Group Mortgage. Decker gets a start in left with Amarista patrolling center. Venable we've seen in right. Headley and Cedeno on the left side. Jerko and Alonso at second and first. Nick Hundley behind the plate for Tyson Ross. Neil Walker steps up. Walker in the last 14 games on a bit of a tear. 339 is average in those 14 to raise his overall mark up to 259. Switch hitting second baseman. Pittsburgh high school star in baseball and football. On the corner.
Another good fastball by Tyson Ross. Working both edges. Movement on the fastball.
.95 on that one.
It's just that downward plane that gives hitters so many problems. Well, Darren Balsley and Bud Black have been very impressed with the adjustments Tyson Ross has made. Starting early in the season, going to the bullpen, and then coming back as a starter. It's tough adjustments, especially for a young guy.
But since he came back after the break, 3-1 with a 1.32 ERA, 149 opposing hitters trying to bat against him. That ball's hit well to right center. He had a groove one, 3-1, and that's deep to right center and gone into the sand pit. And Walker gives the Pirates an early 1-0 lead with his 8th home run of the season. Looking fastball, got fastball. Yeah, some Pittsburgh fans here at Petco tonight.
Yeah, 3-1 fastball, not located, out over the middle of the plate. A lot of major league hitters are going to do some damage. That's a long home run for Neil Walker.
Just over the fence in right center field into the sandbox. An hour from now, that might not have carried quite so well, but it's a 1-0 Pittsburgh lead as Andrew McCutchen steps in, carrying the best batting average for the Pirates and the 4th best average in the National League at .317. Check swing, ground ball. Get over there, Ross, and he just does beat McCutchen. Late making his move, and he showed a little athleticism himself and galloping to the bag ahead of McCutchen.
Well, we also saw deer in the headlights. Tyson Ross, he's coming back to the mound. Understand? Watch Tyson Ross. He freezes. He thinks that ball's going to be played by Jed Jerko. Enough athletic ability and speed with those long strides to beat Andrew McCutchen.
And how about the play made by Alonso from the glove, the throw, and a very accurate one it needed to be to just get McCutchen 3-1. Nice play by Yonder Alonso to cover for the pitcher Ross, who did finally cover. Pedro Alvarez, and the shift is on.
Shift is on. 3 guys on that side. Alvarez likes to pull the ball. He likes to put it in the seats. A lot of strikeouts. Here's a toss by Yonder Alonso.
Perfect.
Very athletic on the run.
Alvarez figuring in all 3 runs last night. A single that got through to Norfia all the way to the wall. So 2 runs scored on that play on the 3-base error. And then he hit that long home run to right field, his 31st in the 3-1 win. In there 2-1, barked out by Doug Eddings behind the plate tonight. Tuesday night, San Diego Police Department and First Responders Recognition Night. And 3-1. It was a 3-1 pitch that Walker pulled out of the ballpark.
And Tyson needs to stay away from these hitter counts. Pittsburgh Pirate offense has not been doing too much damage of late. Tyson has to get out of those pitcher counts.
This one chopped into shallow right field. Jerko throws it away. Backed up by Hundley. And Jerko playing deeper than he normally would because he was in shallow right field, and what would be a normal flip for a second baseman put a little extra on it and airmailed.
Well, Dick, when you have a shift, you're in spots that you're not normally accustomed to. Jed Jerko looked like he was in an uncomfortable position. Watch the first step right when the ball comes. Takes that step forward and has to throw that underneath. It almost looked a little nonchalant. And he airmails it over Yonder Alonso.
Good hustle by Hundley to back it up. So Alvarez 2 out, safe on the error. And here's catcher Russell Martin hitting at .249 with 11 home runs. Pirates crowing about what a difference he has made in the clubhouse and just the overall chemistry of this team this year.
Well, this is the guy that I identified. Clint Hurdle talked about identified in the offseason their #1 priority. They had to take care of the catching position. Russell Martin's done all of that.
Came up not as a catcher in the big leagues with the Dodgers.
Yeah, very athletic. He was a teammate of mine in the Dodger organization. He'd take ground balls in between starts because he loved being out there in the middle of the field. He was a third baseman in the minor leagues. They switched him to catcher. Very athletic behind the plate.
That ball hit well to right field, chasing Venable back, and he has to play it off the boards, and it sticks at the base of the wall, and that allows extra time for Alvarez, the big man, to score. It's 2-0. That ball wedging between the dirt track and the boards, the right field wall, and Venable was expecting some carom. If it plays naturally, he might have been able to hold that runner Alvarez from scoring. But
yeah, so many times as nooks and crannies, and you see Russell Martin taking this fastball away and going with it, getting a good part of it, had a good sound off the bat. Watch Will Venable try to play this off, and it sticks in that little area and wedged in that corner. That's bad luck as Alvarez turns the corner. Unfortunately for Jed Jerko, that's when the error really comes into play, especially with the 2 outs and making that error.
So that 4th out often spells trouble, and the Pirates jump out to the 2-0 lead and a chance for more. Right fielder Garrett Jones has 11 home runs, 42 runs batted in. Way out in front of the breaking pitch. 0-2. .42 RBIs. The lineup loaded with men who knock in runs. Walker's knocked in 37, 69 for McCutchen, 83, 82 for Alvarez, 46 for Martin, 42 for Jones. High pop up. That'll be out of play.
Now, good pitch by Tyson Ross, changing that eye level of Jones. 2 strikes. He chases that fastball up. When you change the eye level of hitters, then you could go to that slider down and in. But when you throw that high fastball, you got to get it out of the strike zone. See if they go to the slider right here.
hit sharply to Alonso. Inning comes to an end, but the Bucks get a couple. One of them earned, and the Padres come up with Venable leading off the bottom half of the inning. Padres baseball brought to you by your San Diego County Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a luxurious Lexus automobile today. By Petco, where the healthy pets go. And by Farmers Insurance. Contact your local agent at 888-96-FARMERS. And by GMC. We are professional grade. Well, the Tides come in and the Tides go out, and for the Padres, they need to muster up a wave of their own, falling behind 2-0 in the top of the first inning as we look at Bud Black's lineup, brought to you by Toyota. Will Venable will lead it off with Alexi Amarista. The left-handed hitters lined up with Yonder Alonso. Jed Jerko hits from the right side, of course, will bat cleanup, but then Headley from the left side, Hundley from the right side, Decker from the left side, Cedeno from the right side as Bud Black alters left-right. Against the right-hander, A.J. Burnett. Alan James Burnett from Little Rock, Arkansas. He comes in with a strike at 93. It's amazing, Burnett. He has pitched a no-hitter against the Padres, and that's the only other game that he's won. He's lost the other 5 decisions. There's the curveball.
I wouldn't mind him losing this decision either. Padres have to battle back anytime the team puts some runs on you in the first inning. You got to answer back.
And the Pirates have been very effective in winning games when they score first. A little bit high.
You know, Dick, we always talked about it, and Mark Loretta touched on this. The Pittsburgh Pirates are throwing much more fastballs in, and you can see it even last night. And Clint Hurdle probably is asking his pitchers to command early with that fastball in.
And they lead the majors, Mark Sweeney, in most ground ball outs. 72% of the outs are ground ball outs.
And that'll do it to you, because you start cheating with it as a hitter. If you know they're going to throw that fastball in, and you don't want to get embarrassed with that fastball, so you cheat a little bit. That'll induce some ground balls.
Francisco Liriano last night, outstanding. 7 innings of shutout ball, 13 strikeouts. Shift on for Venable, and Clint Hurdle does this more than any manager in the National League. He likes to use the scouting report and shift his infield.
Well, here's the scouting report on A.J. Burnett, and foul balls are not good. When you get into 2 strikes, this man understands how to put you away, especially the strikeouts. You got to grind out at bats for the Padres tonight.
He is a strikeout pitcher, always has been, and just fouling that one off is Venable.
Here's the shift here. See that shortstop, and then they're over on the right side. You have to understand, you've got to take that out of your mind, Dick, and sometimes that's very difficult to do from the hitter's standpoint.
We used a golf analogy earlier, and you could apply that again here. And in golf, the the holes that are intimidating, the big water hazard to the right and the huge bunker to the left, and to get into the golfer's mind, especially the hackers. And you've just got the good players just play on through. They don't see those.
It's a great point. Visually, it is a little different. It puts a lot of pressure on you. Some hitters don't worry about that. They're just taking swings. But you understand the stats don't lie. That's the reason why they're making those shifts.
Just inside, and the count full. It's a good at bat thus far for Venable. 9th pitch coming up.
Well, this is what I mean about grinding at bats out. Last night, a lot of strikeouts. Tonight, the Padres have to put that out of their minds and grind out at bats.
Ground ball left side. The third baseman playing shortstop. One hop, but dug out by Sanchez, the first baseman. You saw how far Alvarez was from third base, almost fielded it at second base. Here's the Pirates defense, brought to you by Hyundai. Tabata, McCutcheon, and Jones in the outfield, left to right. Alvarez at third, Sanchez over at first, Mercer and Walker up the middle, Martin behind the plate for Burnett. So you put in your scorebook 5-3 when really it was a 6-3 put up.
An athletic play by Alvarez over there near the shortstop position.
They almost collided, as we almost saw one of those last night with a shift on between Mercer and Walker, with a ball hit right by the second base bag. Amarista hitting .259. What a talented player he is for his size, to hit with power and be able to field so many positions, all three outfield, well, he could play first base. He wouldn't be much of a target. But he certainly could handle the leather over there.
Dick, it's about versatility, especially for Bud Black and his staff. And Alexi Amarista, in my estimation, is the perfect National League player.
Because he can cover all positions.
You have to, and double switches. It just adds to your versatility as a ball club.
3-0 and a fastball down the middle.
Now, these are the situations right here. 3-1. He tends to get a little bit bigger with his swing, and you got to cut that down. Understand you have some pop, and let that pitcher supply the power with his velocity.
Left field, dying in a hurry, and caught. Tabata runs it down just on the foul line. That would have been a fair ball. Good play by the left fielder.
Well, coming off the left-hander at bat, always goes towards the line, and very athletic play and sliding to protect himself right around that wall. Very nice play. Anytime it's coming off a bat and you're playing the corner position, it goes towards the line, that rotation, and you have to get a good jump. It's all about that first step in the outfield.
Yonder Alonso with the bases empty, 2 outs. Now Alonso, you saw his numbers, the best batting average of any Padre, 289, but 6 home runs, and since he came back just before the All-Star break, he's not hit a home run. Now he's not a home run hitter, but that is surprising that we've gone 4 or 5 games before the All-Star break till now, August 20th, and he hasn't found one that he could pull out of the park.
Yeah, Dick, I don't like excuses, but I'll say this: that hand cannot be as strong as it should be, and it does affect you as a hitter. Your hand strength has a lot to do with it. Yes, you need bat speed, but I just think he's a tad off, and that adds to it. But he understands he's going to get his hits, and he is a hitter, and he's still evolving in this game.
And look at the shift is on again. Fouled at the plate, 1-2 the count.
You know, so many times you watch Yonder Alonso, and it looks like he overswings at times. He looks like he's trying to generate, and you can't try to generate power. So many times it sounds easier said than done, but he wants to drive the baseball out of the ballpark because he plays in a premier position for a power hitting guy.
And fouled again.
You know, I played with Sean Burroughs here, a third baseman. There was a first-round pick. They were expecting him to hit for power. Hit a lot of singles, a lot of doubles. They wanted him to hit for power, and I think it really set him back in trying to be the hitter that he really should be. If Yonder Alonso's hitting doubles, he's driving runs in, I'm all right with that.
1-2. And he goes after a ball in the dirt, and you could see the frustration and anger. Alonso striking out on a pitch well out of the zone. Padres down 2-0 after 1. It'll be Sanchez, Mercer, and the pitcher Burnett against Tyson Ross. A 2-0 early lead for the Bucks. Sanchez, a .237 hitter, the former Miami Marlin. As we welcome to our Fox Sports San Diego broadcast booth a new president of the club, Mike D, introduced to the press today. And he's got his spikes on, ready to go to work.
Thanks, Dick. Nice to be with you. Mark, nice to be up here.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Great to be back in San Diego.
Mike, of course, was here with the Padres and the Larry Lucchino regime. What, 8 seasons here with the team?
8 seasons, 95 through 02, and some pretty good ones in that mix, too, as you remember, Mark. And Dick, you were here, too, for it.
As a fan, I certainly was.
Absolutely.
And trying to capture the magic of a playoff team, I guess that's number one on your priority list.
Absolutely. And, got to get the team on the field back to that level and that caliber, and, working with Josh Burns and his staff to capitalize on the strong young nucleus they've built to take the next steps.
Mike, I wanted to ask you, too, and you said a great thing today in the press conference. You said, don't judge us today, judge us down the road. And tell us what you really mean about that.
Well, I think, actions and performance speak louder than words. So, somebody taught me a long time ago.
Sanchez sends a rope to left field, leadoff base hit for Gabby.
Pretty good team we're playing tonight, by the way. These guys, easy to see why they're competing for a playoff berth.
But to your point, Mike, here's a team that's been on the losing side of a season record for 20 seasons, the worst in all of professional sports. But you could see them building. About 3 years ago, they kept inching up and up, better and better with these young players.
No question. It wasn't about one signing, adding a piece or two. I mean, last time I checked, A.J. Burnett was not exactly highly sought after as he left New York. But, you add those pieces to a strong young nucleus and great things can happen. And, I think that's what we have to focus on and make sure that, there's progress. I think most importantly, we'll have a plan. And to your point, Mark, look, 3, 4, 5 years down the road where we're going. And I think fans are going to be excited about this franchise again as they were in the late 90s.
Well, you were a basketball player. Why the passion in the baseball? Although you come from the Miami Dolphins, who played basketball at Franklin and Marshall, and you go to baseball, then to the NFL. Now you're back to the national pastime. Why?
The only thing I haven't done is skate at some point in my life. But, I always had a passion for baseball. I grew up in Baltimore, Maryland with the great Orioles teams of the 70s with Brooks Robinson, Frank Robinson, Boog Powell, Jim Palmer, Dave McNally. So my earliest childhood memories were Memorial Stadium in Baltimore. Like so many people have those childhood memories. And, it's great to see that in San Diego. This is a tremendous baseball community, as you guys know. That's one of the things that really appealed to me coming back. You look at the youth around the ballpark, the families. This is a young fan base. We have to create those memories for today's kids so that 10, 15, 20 years down the road, they're talking about this team the way that people are now who are in their 30s looking at those teams in the late 90s.
And down swinging goes Jordy Mercer for the first out. That's the first strikeout for Tyson Ross. Now, I try to explain to my friends around the country that of the 30 major league markets, this is the most provincial. We've got 2 major league teams to the north, water, desert, Mexico to the south. And so when you be proud of that San Diego there. I mean, we've got all pulled together. It's not just the love of the game, but the love of your home team.
No, that's a very good point, Dick. And, when you've lived here and then you've moved away, you have that perspective that is, this is San Diego's team. And the Chargers are a great part of the San Diego community, too. But when those teams do well here, the community rallies around that and unites in a way. I just remember 98. You remember being here during that time frame. I mean, the parade downtown.
Oh, yeah.
And I was a part of a pretty good parade in Boston a few years later in 2004. But I got to tell you, this community during that time frame was alive. It was hopping, and we're going to get there again. I know it. And,
Mike, you did some great things when you were with Larry Lucchino in Boston, too, when you left. What have you learned the most leaving San Diego and now coming back?
Well, I think you have to be. One thing I've learned is that baseball's changed. Even in the 4 years I was in the NFL, you now have teams, to your point, Dick, Pittsburgh, Kansas City, and it used to be that perception, and I think it was perception, but perception is sometimes reality, that teams left spring training without a chance. I think everybody now has a chance. You've got parity, you've got competitive balance in baseball. So I think in our case, what I've learned is, we got to be smart about our business. We got to have a plan. We got to stick to it. We have to have a unquenchable thirst to win. And, I think get that.
Nice play made by Ross. Oh. Does he get the out at second? Yes. No, he said he pulled him off the bag. Second base umpire Dana DeMuth. So they get the out on Burnett. Fielder's choice. He was trying to bunt. He gets the job done when Ross pulls Cedeno off the bag. No error, of course, on the play. So with 2 outs, runner at second, and the leadoff hitter Tabata coming up.
Well, you look at Tyson Ross fielding his position and then getting underneath that baseball, takes Cedeno off the base, but does a nice job getting the out at first base. Very athletic by Ronnie Cedeno.
So just to finish that point, I think that to instill a winning culture, words are cheap. You've got to live it. You've got to set that tone for the franchise. It's on the field. It's in the front office. And I think that's what we're going to be about. And it's led by a great ownership group. One of the things that brought me back here, the 75-degree sunshine is a big part of it.
Somebody's got to live here.
But the Seidlers, the O'Malleys, Ron Fowler, a terrific part of this community. It starts at the top. We have the right ownership to make this happen, and I'm just here to foster that and to try to lead and inspire a great staff to do just that. There was a saying back in the mid-90s, by the way, that was an ad campaign. It kind of became the mantra for the team, which was keep the faith. My message to the fans tonight is keep the faith. I know it's been a tough 10 years, but I think you're going to be pleased with what you see, and again, we'll let our actions speak louder than our words, but better times are ahead.
How much time have you had to survey the total organization, the minor league system, the players to come?
Spent a lot of time with Josh. Josh and I work together in Boston, so this is not familiar territory for both of us. And I really like Josh's staff, and I like what we have in the minor leagues. And we're going to have a couple of our minor league teams will qualify for postseason play. We have a very strong Double-A team, which is always important in San Antonio. Great young pitching at not only this level, but throughout the minor league system. And I think you'll see us focus on rounding out that with some offense in the years to come. But a lot to work with here. A lot of work to be done, but a lot to work with.
1-2 now on Tabata. We want you to stay another half inning.
Absolutely, we'd love to.
Thank you. Let's see if we can close out the top of the second with a runner at second, and Tabata a 1-2 pitch coming up, and doesn't bite on the breaking ball. Tabata fly to right field in the first inning when the Pirates scored 2. A home run by Neil Walker, his 8th of the year. Then the error by Jerko, and Russell Martin, a double that wedged into the right field wall and allowed Alvarez to come all the way around from first to score and make it 2-0.
Well, with that home run, but Neil Walker hit, this is probably going to be a pretty good pitch.
And strike 3 call. That's it for the Pirates. Top of the second. We'll continue with the new Padre president, Mike D, when we come back. Night falling on our beautiful city as we go to the bottom of the second inning. The Pirates are leading 2-0. It'll be Jerko, Headley, and Hundley to hit against AT Burnett here in the bottom of the second as we continue our conversation with Padre President Mike D. What's going to be your toughest challenge?
I think a part of it is going to be building that trust back with the fans. You know, there's been, I think, a disconnect from what I've sensed from talking to people in my short time here. You know, a lot was pledged at the time this ballpark was built. Not only about preserving baseball for San Diego, but being competitive and being able to compete at the highest levels of baseball. And, you know, it hasn't worked out that way. And I think that, you know, again, from the top down, we have to make sure that fans believe us, trust us. We got to be transparent in this world of social media and communicating in real time. We got to connect fans to the franchise again in a way that makes people proud, makes people want to be here night in and night out and watching on Fox Sports San Diego night in and night out.
Yeah, but how do you do that? The Dodgers are about to win again tonight, and they're running away with this $230 million budget. How do you compete with that?
Well, it would have been easy to have competed with that in mid-May, right?
Yeah, exactly right.
But you know, look. Spending money helps, but you know, we're gonna definitely invest more in the team, and that I think the ownership has made that clear as recently as today. But you know, spending the most amount of money doesn't always buy you World Series championships either, and there's a lot of dead money around the sport, as it's referred to. Yeah, who they like to be out from underneath some of those contracts. So, you know, we have to be smart. We have the economic foundation here to be competitive and to build from the bottom of the organization. I mean, from, you know, rookie league, Class A, Double A, Triple A. Build the type of farm system and infrastructure, as you know, Mark, from being, you know, coming through those ranks. You know, teach, be consistent at every level, draft, develop great players, and have them come here to San Diego.
Sharp ground ball at Alvarez at third, and he throws out Jerko.
Well, I wanted to ask you something today, because if we go back to that press conference and they gave you a memento today for your first day, and here we take a look at it. What's going to happen with Chris Denorfia with number 13? I'm just wondering, did you have something? Did you work out a deal today?
Yeah, we may have to work out a deal. You know, I'll talk to him after the game. But if you ever see me wearing that uniform on the field, then we got real concerned. So I don't think Dino has any issues.
You know, Ron Fowler said something that pretty interesting, and I think it's about collaboration. Yes, you talk about from top to bottom and the chemistry that you have with Josh Burns and his staff. You know, how important is that to you, coming back and having that element, that chemistry between each other?
I think it's extremely important. And communication, collaboration, and as Ron has preached throughout the organization, continuous improvement I used the term today that I've kind of been raised in the sports business. That which can be measured can be improved. That's a Lucchinoism. And we're going to constantly measure, how we're doing, not just on the field, because our record is going to be an easy indicator of that, but how we're doing in the minor leagues, how we're doing with our scouting, how we're doing in the front office, how we're doing in the community. This is a team that, I use the term San Diego loves you, or loves you back when you love it. We have a great chance and a great opportunity here with new ownership to make that same kind of mark as the 1995, 96, 97, 98 Padres did.
Yeah, Mike, I think in 1998 it snowballed, and it was such a magical ride, and you experienced that. And the community still understands that. And you said today you want to make that a part of getting back, getting involved with the community. I think that's going to help, bringing those players. You have Trevor Hoffman, you have Tony Gwynn, Hernandez is down here doing the Spanish with Fox. That's important to you, isn't it?
I love having our alumni around from that era. It's a big part of this franchise's great history, and we need to showcase that, but also embrace it. And it's great to see. You weren't in this booth when I left here. It's great to see.
I played my way into it.
If he went around, the ball in the dirt, didn't he have an opportunity to run to first base? He punched him out. I guess he called him out on the swing, not on the pitch.
He takes a swing and it goes off his back foot, and then that's a dead ball, and it's a strikeout.
All right, I wondered why he didn't race to first, but obviously that was not an option, and a strikeout for Burnett, his second.
One thing that is clear, and when we built this ballpark, we're fortunate to get the community support to do it. Part of it was preserving baseball, but the other part of it was, quote unquote, more than a ballpark, what it was going to mean to downtown San Diego. It's gratifying to come back here, and a great testament to the strong community will, the development, the resurgence of downtown San Diego is remarkable, and great to now be a part of it on a daily basis.
Yeah, absolutely. It just revitalized the inner city downtown, and people go to the ball game, go out and have themselves a nice dinner afterwards. It's like a party every weekend night.
It's got to feel good to have those relationships that you already built when you were here in San Diego and come back and rely on those as well, too. A lot of friends that you left here before, but you still kept in touch with.
No question. It's not foreign territory. It's great to have so many folks who've reached out to me, and my appointment book is full for the next, I think, 3 years of reconnecting with old friends. And this is a big, small town, as they, fondly referred to San Diego. So, it's bigger than it was when I left, though. I mean, when, I actually drove down to the border a couple days ago and then drove up to North County, and you start to see the enormous growth that has taken place. The 56 corridor wasn't here when I lived here. It was a dirt road between the 15 and the 5 that we used to try to navigate our way through. So many areas of this town have exploded with growth. It's great to see the multicultural makeup of the community has always been something that has made it unique, and we're going to embrace that too.
Nice play by Alvarez, a hot shot off the bat of Hundley, and Alvarez takes a hit away. Well, thanks, Mike, and obviously we're all pulling on the same rope.
A pleasure.
Let's go all the way.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Mike D., the new president.
in the sand as we welcome you back. Top of the third inning coming your way. The Pirates leading 2-0, and unfortunately the Padres have been victimized by the unearned runs in the first two games of this series, one tonight, and then Kristen Norfia responsible for the 2-run error last night, but he takes full responsibility. Let's hear from him now.
You know, I just missed it. There's really no excuse for it. You know, it's one of those plays, it cost us a game. You know, I'm humbled for it. Sometimes this game will humble you, and today was one of those days for me. And you know, all I can do is just keep hustling and keep doing my job, and you know, hopefully we'll get them tomorrow.
I'll tell you what, Dick, I love that, and I'll tell you why. As the slider goes off of Walker's right foot, the reason why I love that is he's taking credit and responsibility. And you look at Bud Black and what he does in communicating with his players, but Kristen Norfia stepping up last night. There's nothing worse as a player understanding you had a lot to do with that loss. And it wasn't about Kristen Norfia last night. They had opportunities to come back and win the game, but to take responsibility, it shows a lot of his character and what he's all about. And I commend him for standing up in front of a camera and saying that.
Yeah, a lot of players stuck their head into their locker and said, I don't want to talk to you tonight.
It happens more and more, and you know, I don't go back, but I commend him for doing that and stepping forward. And you know, no one felt worse than he did last night making that play. But I've never seen a guy, and I love this quote, Ozzie Smith told me, I've never seen a guy try to make a mistake.
That's right.
And it's the truth. And you live by that as players, and Kristen Norfia did that last night, and he's going to make up for that if he has an opportunity. That's why people fall in love with him.
I have an example of that. We'll go down to Laura, too, from another sports. Al McGuire, my old pal and broadcast partner in basketball, blew a game with a bunch of technicals in the tournament, and one of his star players came up to him after the game and said, thanks for losing the game for us, Coach. And McGuire answered, well, I guess that makes up for all the games I won for you.
When you have a career like that, you can say that quote.
Well, and Norfia has made some plays that have won games, too, so let's not forget that. And McCutcheon waving weakly at that breaking ball, and let's go down to Laura.
Well, yes, Dick, and you guys talking about the credibility that Kristen Norfia had. And last night, we were all standing around the media members, and he actually came up to us wanting to talk, wanting to stand up and really take responsibility for the error. He was emotional about it. He felt terrible, but that's so impressive, and it's one of those things. He said, hey, that's my job. I have to stand up and take responsibility when those things happen.
So high marks for Norfia as a man and as a teammate.
And that goes a long way in that locker room. You talk about those dynamics that you have to have.
Line by Alvarez into the gap. That's by Decker. And on the run is Walker. He's to third, and here he comes scooting home. Alvarez to third. A bad throw. They might have gotten him. And he pulls up with an RBI triple, and the Pirates now lead 3-0. Alvarez in the midst of all three runs last night, and he's been a part of two of the runs again tonight. A home run last night, a triple tonight. And that hit batsman to lead off the inning, Walker. He comes around to score.
Well, just another good swing by Alvarez. Doesn't try to play this ball. It reverses that shift, and it can get in your mind. But take a look at Jeff Decker. You got to be understanding it's going to ricochet off of that. And he took a casual approach and turned it into a triple. I think that's a double turned into a triple. You got to be aggressive and understand it's not going to ricochet too much off of that screen. Jeff Decker has to understand those little nuances about the field here.
That's a big comebacker off the bat of Martin to hold the runner at third. Now 2 away. It's only the second triple of the season for Alvarez. You saw his teammates kind of giving him the hoo-ha. Bring out a respirator for him. But he drives in his 83rd run of the season, and the Pirates off to a 3-0 start. Garrett Jones, the batter, grounded out to first, his initial at bat. We talk about building with youth. You know, Walker's young, he's 26. Alvarez is only 26.
Well, you heard Mike D talk about it, scouting, development. You have to draft well, but when it comes down to it, Dick, it's all about wins and losses at this level. You have to kind of create that culture, change the culture. That's exactly what Clint Hurdle has done with the experience of McCutchen, the talent.
Alvarez, I remember when he first came up in 2011, hit only 191. And they thought, well, maybe he's not quite as good as we hoped he would be. Last year, found himself a 244 hitter, but with 30 home runs and 85 runs batted in, and here he is on a tear this season.
Oh, big time power. The confidence goes a long way when you're in that batter's box. And he looks very confident.
1-2 now to Garrett Jones. And he gets him swinging. Strike three.
A good slider by Ross.
Fourth strikeout for Ross, but another run for the Bucks. They lead it 3-0.
Social Media Tuesday. Our topic today, hashtag Ask Houston. We're asking closer Houston Street some questions. And our first one comes in from Brittany. She says, what former professional ball player do you idolize and why? Here's Houston's answer.
My favorite part growing up was Lou Gehrig. I never got to see him play, and so it's tough to say that's your favorite when you don't see someone play. I think from his speech on the field, just watching that, growing up, it was Nolan Ryan and Roger Clemens. Those two guys, hands down. Texas boys, throwing hard, pitchers, top of their field.
All right, well, we've got plenty more tweets coming your way throughout this game, and we'll hear more of Houston's answers as we go along. Dick and Mark.
All right, thank you, Laura. There's the ground ball out, and these infielders know they're going to get a lot of chances, and Neil Walker makes a good play to take a base hit away from Jeff Decker to lead off the third inning, and that's 7 straight retired now by the veteran Burnett. Cedeno is hitting .214, the ex-Buck.
When you have the Pirates diving all over the place, gloving and making plays, you've got to shrug your shoulders and keep grinding out at bats.
Cedeno against the Pirates, hitting .347.
This is their opening day shortstop for the Pittsburgh Pirates in 2011. Saw Clint Hurdle go over to him before the game, say hello. Like a lot of us, we say hello to a lot of those ex-managers.
One and two to Cedeno with the pitcher Tyson Ross on deck. Burnett now 36 years of age. Selected by the Mets back in 1995. Went to the Marlins from the Mets in '98 for Al Leiter.
Yep. It's the power arm. He topped out 98, 99. Used to be more of a four-seam guy, but now he's moving that fastball around. He still has that breaking ball. It's that inconsistency, the breaking ball he falls into.
Ground ball, another chance for Alvarez. He bobbles it and he can't pick it up. That's the fourth man in the Padre lineup to hit the ball to Alvarez. He fielded the previous three cleanly, but boots that one.
Now this is a routine play for Alvarez. You can see he just backed up on it. That ball played him.
Sure did.
Break to the Padres. Doesn't that sound nice?
Somebody greased that one up. Out of the glove. Wants to go bare hand. Off the fingertips. Foot. So the Padres have their first base runner, and that gives Ross a chance to move him along. Tyson, of course, since he dislocated that left shoulder that put him on the DL and then had to readjust his whole swing because the violence of it caused the injury.
I like his swing. Very athletic in that batter's box.
That's a strike.
This is some of the things that you got to be real good at if you're a starting pitcher. You got to handle the bunting situations. They do a lot of work in spring training, going into that. You have to go into the cages, get your own work done if you're a starting pitcher to help yourself.
Well-placed bunt, and Burnett will go to the second baseman covering Walker as we go to a Fox Sports 1 game break. All right, thank you. The Dodgers' long losing streak, 2 in a row, comes to an end as they win tonight in Miami. They had not lost 2 in a row since back in June 20th and 21st. It's an incredible tear.
Well, I saw Yasiel Puig today got fined for being late coming to the ballpark by Don Mattingly. Some of those things are going well for the Dodgers right now. And they're gone through and you got to credit them. They're doing a nice job with their winning streaks. They played solid baseball. But be careful of what success does to some of these players. I think Yasiel Puig, we're probably going to hear his name a lot. That's something that a lot of that coaching staff talked about. Constant communication with this young man.
Enormous talent. And sometimes tries to do a little too much. And today a little too little. Not getting to the park in time.
Yep.
Northia and Headley in conversation on the Padres bench. The count goes 2 strikes on Venable, who grounded to third his first time. By the way, that error committed by Alvarez incredibly was his 25th of the year. Making up for it with the bat. Padres try to take advantage.
That's too many errors, especially in that hot corner position.
Ground ball left side, almost hit Cedeno. They can't make the play at first. An infield hit for Venable. Shortstop Mercer was hoping that Cedeno might take a big turn at third. Glenn Hoffman said, no, stop right here.
Well, Jordy Mercer tries to make this play, but watch Ronnie Cedeno just waits just a little bit. And visually, I think Jordy Mercer was in a bad position because Ronnie Cedeno waited for that. He didn't get in that position where he could throw him out, didn't have a play. Will Venable getting down the line.
So first and third for the Padres, tying the run at the plate. And Amarista, who sliced one down the left field line. Good play made by Tabata, sliding catch in the first inning. Ooh, almost to the screen. There's Russell Martin saving a run.
Yeah, so hard to block fastballs. One of the toughest positions. I talked about Russell Martin. Watch this athletic move. Almost hits Amarista. And that ex-infielder using his glove to help and save a run.
Amarista, good job with runners in scoring position, hitting .327 on the year. But that is a statistic that has haunted the Padres in this homestand coming into the game tonight. They're 10 for 55 with runners in scoring position. They're only 2 for 16 the last 2 games.
See that gold patch right there? That means you're a Gold Glover. You earn that to put on your chest.
Oh, almost got him. Boy, that was close. Venable did a terrific job because he was leaning heavily towards second, countering that move and getting that long arm on the bag just before the throw. Oh, that was close.
Oh, nice job getting the back edge of that bag by Will Venable going back. Yes, he was going. Got to be athletic. Being back on that back edge.
2-0 pitch, so Bud Black playing a little run and hit. It's close this time. 3-0 Pirates. The Padres with their first chance against A.J. Burnett tonight. An error and an infield hit. And inside, you could hear Doug Eddings, 3-0. Quizzical look by Bud Black as if somebody missed a sign, or that wasn't just an ordinary stare out at his players.
Well, in between pitches, you have to look and see what everyone's doing. You're trying to pick signs up. You're trying to make sure that you indicate what Glenn Hoffman has to do, the third base coach.
Ball 4. The bases are loaded. Yonder Alonso steps up with a Padre over every pillow. And with the bases loaded, Pittsburgh cannot employ that drastic shift. Pretty normal position by all 4 infielders.
These are the situations, Dick, that Yonder Alonso has to embrace. Bases loaded. Burnett just had a tough time with Alexi Amarista. Look for a certain pitch in a certain area. Look out over the plate and take that double in the gap.
Strike at the knees, off speed. Cedeno at third, Venable at second, Amarista at first. 2 outs. Amarista carrying the tying run there at first. Same pitch, but a little low.
He's trying to get him to bite on that breaking ball. And you can see, yes, it's harder to take and make a shift with the Pittsburgh Pirates when the bases are loaded. You have to hold your ground. Yonder Alonso has to look out over that plate and adjust to the breaking ball.
Ooh, Russell Martin pulled that one into the strike zone, and the fans behind home plate didn't like that call at all. Nor did Foxtrack. Nor did that man.
Let's take a look at this pitch as it rides out from our Fox Tracks by Southland Technology just above the zone. But Black doesn't like that.
Well, that's a big difference. 2-1 with the bases loaded, now 1-2. And he strikes him out. Second time tonight. Alonso has struck out, says something to Eddings. See, this is what I don't like about today's umpiring, but they attack it more than the player attacks.
Yeah, I don't either. You're going up there and trying to grind it out.
To be continued. 3-0 Pirates. So the Padres bases loaded opportunity, but Alonso strikes out. And here are the pitches in that sequence.
Well, he goes breaking ball, first pitch for a strike. Then he tries to get him out of the strike zone with another breaking ball. That's the pitch right there that messed with him. And then he goes breaking ball off the plate. Yonder Alonso has some choice words. This is the problem I have. Doug Eddings taking his mask off and going after him. That's the problem you have. And then Mark Loretta's down near the dugout. Mark, how'd you handle those situations?
Well, you could see Doug Eddings say what happened on the other 2 pitches. So you could tell that he thought he missed that 1 strike. But those are tough deals. You're right. It shouldn't be
There's a high drive to deep right field off the bat of Gabby Sanchez. It's going to bounce over the wall. A ground rule double to lead off the Pirate 4th inning. Continue, Mark.
No, I was just going to say that you know those things obviously get heated in the spur of the moment there. But you're right that the umpire shouldn't take his mask off in that situation. Really, that just kind of fuels the fire, in my opinion.
He could have said what he's saying now with the mask on, staying back at his position behind home plate. Instead, takes the mask off and he charges toward the player. I don't like it.
I don't like it either. And you look at Bud Black and he's protecting his player, but have a sense of what you're doing. Everyone is competing out there. It's a big situation in the game. But there are ways to do it, Mark. And the way you talk about it, and Yonder Alonso's not at fault. I mean, he has to handle that situation a different way too. But you have communication with umpires. It bothers me that umpires take it another level.
I've always thought the best way to do it, if the umpire does feel like it might have been a borderline pitch, say, hey, that might have been a borderline pitch. And you can live with that because it's not an easy thing to call a 94-mile-an-hour fastball with some movement just off the edge, a ball or strike.
And after all, Alonso did chase a ball in the dirt, striking out the first time. So the umpire said, wait a minute, you're not perfect either. Swing and a miss by Mercer. He struck out the first time. Tyson Ross has 4 tonight. But in trouble again here in the 4th inning. Leadoff man has reached safely in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th innings. And they got 2 runs, 1 unearned in the 1st inning. Mercer and then the pitcher Burnett. Pittsburgh came into San Diego having won only 2 of their previous 9 games. Got the 3-1 win last night to make it 3-7 the last 10. Ground ball shortstop in front of the runner. So he has to hold as Cedeno throws out Mercer.
Just another good pitch by Tyson Ross and evolving in this game, but getting a 2 strikes and throw that slow slider. Jody Mercer hits in front, like you talked about, Dick, in front of the runner and can't advance him. Nice piece of pitching right there by Tyson Ross.
Brings up Burnett, who has only 3 hits and 44 at bats this year. From a veteran who in high school was known as much for his hitting as his pitching. That's a strike. We're talking about runners in scoring position. The Pirates in the series are 0 for 7. They're 0 for 5 tonight. Another chance here in the 4th. Weak wave by Burnett.
Well, that devastating slider makes a lot of people look foolish. I know it's the pitcher. He's done that to number 3 hitters. You saw McCutchen take an awkward swing on that same pitch.
Did he go? No. In his career, Burnett, a 117 hitter with 3 home runs. Fouls it away. He has an unusual habit, or has in his career. He labels his bats after his favorite rock bands. Chemical Brothers, Kid Rock, Marilyn Manson. Ross hopes this at bat will be a Marilyn.
You gotta love Kid Rock, right, Dick?
Oh, my favorite. Terrific comedian. 1-2 the count. And Cedeno ducking in behind the runner, and Ross backs off.
I named mine 50 cent. 50-cent piece.
Whatever you say. $50, 50 cents.
I didn't name my bets.
Swing and a miss. Number 5 in the strikeout compartment for Tyson Ross. Let's go down to Laura.
Well, thank you, Dick. And time for tonight's AT&T Twitter poll question. We're asking who will win the NL Central, and these are the ways that you can vote on Twitter using these hashtags: Pirate Central, Cardinal Central, or Red Central. Now, both the Cardinals and the Reds lost tonight, and hopefully the Padres can make the Pirates lose tonight. But we'll be updating you throughout the game on the results, and we want to make sure everyone gets involved. Guys, do you have a thought on this one?
It's contentious. This is going to go right into September deep. One of those three teams they're so well matched.
Yeah, you look at the starting pitching. I still think experience trumps all of that. I think the St. Louis Cardinals and Reds are in that position. The Pirates are going to start getting into that position where a lot of those guys in the locker room have not been in. You're not in a pennant race. It is different baseball when it's coming down the stretch. You're going to rely on Clint Hurdle as much as possible to voice that.
Ground ball to short. Cedeno across to Alonso in time to retire Tabata. We go to the bottom of the 4th. The Padres need 3 to tie.
We've got another social media question coming your way for Houston Street. It's the hashtag Ask Houston, and Alfredo writes in. He wants to know what some of the toughest hitters you've faced and what made them so difficult. Here's Houston.
Yeah, so Alfredo, the toughest hitter I've faced, either Michael Young or Matt Stairs. And Matt Stairs knew he owned me, and if he's watching right now, I'm glad you're retired. I faced him in 2009, and so this is what goes through your mind. You know he owns you. He knows he owns you. He struck out that at bat with the bases loaded, went back into the dugout, and told one of my friends on the Phillies, was like, "The boy got lucky today," because he knew. And you're aware of that, and you pitch around him.
Houston Street, always so candid, and we've got plenty more stories that you're not going to want to miss as we continue on Social Media Tuesday, guys.
Yeah, that's a great response. Matt Stairs, who spent a year with the Padres, all-time pinch home run leader in the major leagues.
Well, it amazes me about the total recall that pitchers have, and Mark Loretta down there. I had a tough time worried about last week. How about you recalling what you did in your career against certain pitchers? Do you have success against a certain guy?
You know, a few guys swings, but I'm with you. I rarely remembered at bat or pitches to pitches. The one guy I had a lot of success against was Darryl Kyle, former Padre, and who actually passed away, unfortunately, at a young age. I know you know Darryl very well as well.
Yeah, good breaking ball. You sit on that breaking ball?
Yeah.
1-2 to Jerko, and he jerked that one deep to left. It's gone. Touch 'em all. Number 14 for Jed Jerko. The rookie has struck again.
Well, we're seeing a hitter involved in front of our eyes. That fastball leaks out of the middle of the plate. You can see by A.J. Burnett's reaction. And what an outstanding power position. Right down there, and that's what you want to do. You're on lower half. Beautiful swing on a mislocated fastball, and it's a mistake, and it's in the seats.
3-1 now, the Pirates lead as Chase Headley steps up. He struck out the first time. 1-1 the count.
A.J. Burnett falls in love with his fastball at times, and he can miss location. He gives up big innings almost in every one of his starts.
Another strike off speed.
Mark Kotze asking what it was. Mark Kotze has some success against A.J. Burnett in his career.
Swing and a miss, and Headley has struck out for the second time. 4 strikeouts for Burnett, brings up Nick Hundley. Hundley hit the ball hard the first time, but a good play made by the third baseman Alvarez to throw him out. They measure that line drive home run by Jed Jerko at 373 feet. Ground ball right side, ranging far is Sanchez. A perfect throw. That was like a quarterback to a receiver dump off pass for the 3-1 put out as we go to our Sequan Casino Daycation stat of the game. Highest strikeouts per 9 innings. Yu Darvish, the right-hander of the Texas Rangers, but right behind him A.J. Burnett. Almost 10 strikeouts for Burnett in every 9 innings pitched.
Well, I tell you what, Dick, over 2,100 strikeouts in his career, A.J. Burnett.
That among active pitchers is the third most behind Andy Pettit and Sabathia.
Impressive resume.
Jeff Decker, his first big league home run in Colorado a week ago. He grounded to the second baseman Walker. A good play made by Walker. Going into the hole. The Jerko home run, a solo, came just one batter too late, as the Padres had the bases loaded in the third when Alonso struck out.
Well, timing is everything. These Padres have to get on those winning ways and be contagious with their offense. It's going the other way, unfortunately.
One and two to Decker. Ground ball left side, and under the glove of shortstop Mercer into left center field, and Decker a big turn, but he will hold. As Decker a 2-out single, that'll bring the tying run to the plate here in the fourth.
Well, he hits a hot smash in his first at bat, like you talked about, Dick, towards the second baseman. That play was made. Jeff Decker smashes this one. Watch this approach, taking the ball away with that breaking ball. Under the glove of Mercer, but that ball's by him. Nice swing by Jeff Decker.
Brings up Ronnie Cedeno. Safe on Alvarez error in the third.
That's in there, a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. Burnett still has good velocity at 36 years of age.
They're planning on Cedeno. That's an open invitation to shoot that away. Burnett likes that fastball away. Also the breaking ball.
So as a hitter, you go up there and put yourself in the shoes of Cedeno, the way you styled your game. You look at that infield. That's part of it.
Yeah, you got to look for opportunities, Dick, and that's what Cedeno can handle the bat. He has to take what they give him.
There's that fastball on the outside corner, but no offer from Cedeno, and he's down 2 strikes.
That tells me Cedeno was looking for something middle in. Yes, sometimes you get in that mode where you want to turn and burn, but you know what? Sometimes you have to shorten your swing, take that single, try to turn that lineup around.
In the dirt, and Martin with a snap throw, and just back in time is Decker. Again, the athleticism of that catcher, Martin. Quick on his feet with a rocket arm.
Well, he doesn't try to block this breaking ball in the dirt. He picks it clean. Throws a strike to Sanchez and almost gets Decker. Watch Russell Martin picking that and being athletic. Not in a good throwing position, but still getting a lot on it. So you can see that mask.
Peekaboo.
Very athletic catcher and very impressive.
Cedeno lays off the outside pitch, 2-2. In the strikeout performance last night for the Pirate pitching, 17 strikeouts. That's ties the record, club record, for most strikeouts in a 9-inning game. Bud Black concerned about the 2-strike hitting of the Padres. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 2 more strikeouts for Burnett. Jed Jerko, however, does get the Padres on the board with his 14th home run of the season. It's a 3-1 game going to the 5th. Padres baseball brought to you by Sequan Casino. Real friendly and real close. By Del Mar Wednesdays. That's tomorrow. Free and easy. Diamond Club members, where the turf meets the surf. Del Mar. And by the Aramco Group. Purchase, refinance, reverse. And welcome back to Petco Park as we go to the 5th inning. Jed Jerko with a solid line drive home run. Number 14. He's now matched the total of Carlos Quentin, and the news continues to not be good considering the Padres left fielder. Some question as to if he'll be able to come back this season. Many tests are being done.
Well, especially the way he was swinging the bat, that would be a big blow to this offense. You can see that's all about presence for Carlos Quentin in this offense, and it has been lacking, to say the least, since he's been out.
You'll lose your top table setter and Everett Cabrera, and then your top power man in Quinton, and that takes a big chunk out of your offense. Although Will Venable has done a nice job of filling the void with his 17 home runs. And now Jerko, after some difficulties throughout the month of July, it looks like he's got his swing back in order. Swing and a miss by Neil Walker, who started the scoring tonight with a solo home run in the first inning over the right center field fence. Then he was hit by a pitch in the third and scored on the triple by Alvarez. 2 of the 3 runs on the back of Walker. Weak wave and a miss in the dirt. Strike 3. 6 strikeouts for Tyson Ross. Let's go back to Laura.
Well, Dick, we've talked about the relationship between Tyson Ross and Andrew Cashner, specifically Ross helping Cashner with the slider and Cashner returning the favor, helping Ross with the changeup. And today, Cashner said these two are both feel pitches. So one of the things that he emphasized to Tyson Ross was you want to get the spin off that middle finger. And he says really one of the biggest things with both of those pitches is that rolling off of the middle finger. He also said one of the things that Ross had told him about the slider is making sure that he follows through on it. And one of the things that Cashner says is, hey, I've been extended and I haven't fully gotten through that pitch. That's why I've thrown so many hanging sliders. He says he cuts it off a little bit, and that's one of the things that he's working on. And one of the things that he has passed along to Ross is making sure that the changeup is a pitch that he can develop as he goes along. So definitely their relationship so important, and it's one of those that you really see developing as both pitchers are working through their careers, guys.
Yeah, Laura, thank you. And it is. It's all about the relationship you have with your teammates. As we go back to that changeup that Tyson Ross just threw, you can see that grip, but it's all about comfort level of your secondary pitches. I think Tyson Ross, if he does that, is going to be more economical, get some early swings. But I love the relationship between teammates, and Mark Loretta down near the dugout talking about that, the relationship, and from the hitter standpoint, always in constant communication.
Always, yeah. Going back from the at-bat swings to the bench, you know how it is. You talk about what the guy's doing, what the situation calls for.
McCutcheon gets into that one to center field, but room out there for Amarista to collect it for the second out.
I think you'll agree with me, Sweens, is the thing that ex-players miss the most about the game is the camaraderie with the other players.
It is, and it's exactly right. It's a great point. And Tyson Ross, Andrew Cashner, about being great teammates, but you're in constant communication to evolve in this game together.
And back to that camaraderie, relationship, picking up for one another. You know, folks, think about that. These men, not only the 200 games they play, counting spring training this year, 200 games, they're there 3 weeks before the first preseason game. You know, they spend as much time with each other, and in a way it's kind of sad, as they do with their family.
Yeah, it's a sibling relationship, and you look at constant communications. They are very close. This is a close-knit group. They always are in constant communication, and that's what you got to have. And like Mark talked about, it's what you miss when you leave the game. It's something that you have a bond with 24 others, and it's something that you fall in love with the game because of those relationships and what you.
Shift on for Alvarez in the perfect spot. Shortstop Cedeno on the second base side of the bag to make the play, and it's a 1-2-3 inning, the first for Ross tonight.
The Pirates are still up 3-1. Now it is time for our update on our AT&T Twitter poll results. We asked you who will win the NL Central, and apparently we got some Pirates fans watching this broadcast. The Pirates with 86% of the votes. Cardinals and Reds come with 7%. And I'm interested from Mark Loretta. You didn't get to weigh in on this. Who do you think will win the NL Central, Mark?
You know, Laura, for my money, the Reds are the most complete team, but I wouldn't count out the Cardinals with their experience. They seem to make a run at the end of the season, so I'd go with St. Louis.
There are the standings. Cardinals and Reds losing tonight, so it's a chance for the Pirates to pick up a game or stay where they started, 1 ahead of St. Louis and 2.5 in front of Cincinnati. Tyson Ross sacrificed his first time. Bottom of the 5th, 3-1 Pittsburgh. The home run by Jed Jerko moves him within 1 of Evan Gattis as the leading home run hitter of the National League rookies.
Well, Mark Loretta wanted to ask you about Jed Jerko, and when you started your career, you used the whole field, mostly right field, right center, but Jed Jerko's pulling the baseball a lot more of late. What do you think of his evolution as a hitter?
I think the last thing to come as a hitter, Sweeney, is learn how to pull it effectively, and Jed hits the ball extremely well to right field, right center field. And you're right, now he's covering that hole, that fastball middle in. If he can cover everything like that, look out.
Oh, he seems destined to have a 20 home run year and missed an entire month of the season. Burnett now with 6 strikeouts, so he's true to form, more than a strikeout per inning pitched. Top of the order, Will Venable, an infield hit and a ground out to third. Fastball strike. Just for those of you that are curious about the National League Central race and who might prevail, of course, it's a good chance that all 3 of those teams are going to be in the playoffs with a wild card. But you look at hitting and pitching current statistics, St. Louis has the best hitting team. The Pirates have the best ERA of any National League team. Reds are in between both. Two and 1 to Venable with Alexi Amarista on deck.
Well, you look at that playoff race, and you would think that 3-team race could probably be in the playoffs in one division. You know, I think the Arizona Diamondbacks might have something to say about that, but it's exciting times in front of us.
That's what happened so often last night. Padre hitters going after that ball low out of the strike zone. Now let's see, 2-2. Let's see if Venable changes his approach here at all.
Looks like a fastball in. Now a breaking ball.
Again, out of the strike zone. But you like the way Venable has improved his approach from the waist down.
Yeah, I think he's done a nice job with his lower half, driving through the baseball and down through the ground. It's enabled him to stay through the baseball a little bit more.
Fouls off another.
There's times he looks off balance. He gets around the baseball a little bit. But I think the upper half hasn't changed too much. And that's a good thing. For Will Venable, he got into a mode where he's trying to tinker and change too many things. And you can slide into that mode as a hitter, and it could be affect you a lot. And I think Will Venable got into that.
Inside, he's worked the count full.
A lot of that is trusting your ability, and Will Venable now is not trying to tinker. He's just going with what he's got, and he's a second half type of player, putting up big numbers.
From Fox Tracks, Venable, that was a borderline pitch. He gets the call. 3-2. Ground ball right side, right at Walker. 4-3 on the putout. Well, you can imagine the fans of the Pittsburgh Pirates how they're savoring this season. 20 consecutive losing years. The Pirates, by far the longest losing streak in any major sport. The Bills, the Timberwolves have gone 8 losing seasons in succession. And where's Wayne Gretzky when we need him? The Oilers with 5 straight losing years. So the Pirates, they're They're packing the ballpark in Pittsburgh. Pop up by Amarista, shallow left field, and a 1-2-3 inning for Burnett. We've completed 5 at Petco, and the Bucks lead by 2.
Houston Street, kind enough to help us out on this Social Media Tuesday. We use the hashtag AskHouston, and you tweeted in your questions. This one comes from Kyle, and he asked Houston Street, what's his favorite ballpark to pitch in other than Petco Park?
Old Yankee Stadium, easily. Had success there, won. That's always a precursor to liking any place. But old Yankee Stadium just had this. It had this aroma. It had this old school feel. Walking down the cobblestone right past the monuments. That was baseball. That was cool.
I love how he says that was baseball, guys. And Old Yankee Stadium, what are your thoughts?
Well, I've had a chance to do a few ball games there, and you can imagine the bullpen where it's the best seat in the house if you love the history of this game, because you walk by New York Yankee history, all those monuments and the outfield. And I couldn't wait. My first trip there, one of the first things I did is go take a walk during batting practice and just look at the history of well, the greatest franchise in the sport.
You're exactly right, Dick. And my first visit to Yankee Stadium was 1998, the World Series. So the first thing I did is go to that Momentum Park out there, the monuments. Easy for me to say, but it was just such a great trip to go out there. And what Houston Street's talking about is just the history of the game. It is baseball. It has that aura that was just unbelievable to be a part of.
Well, Tyson Ross has not walked a man. Now he does, and it's the leadoff man, Martin, here in the 6th. That'll bring up Garrett Jones with Gabby Sanchez, who is 2 for 2 tonight, to follow.
Well, anytime you go to a ballpark and you understand the history that preceded you, just even going to that ballpark, and some of the greatest things about a player is going to those different fields that have the history. Wrigley Field, Yankee Stadium, Fenway Park, Tiger Stadium.
Absolutely. Thank you. Tiger Stadium deserves to be in that category, and sadly now, the last time I visited Detroit a 3 years ago, they had torn down all of the stadium except for a bit of the grandstand between the 2 dugouts. And I thought, well, that'd be a great monument to keep those. The rest was just a grass park.
Yep.
But I guess now that all has disappeared as well. There was a movement to try to save it as a historical monument. And the real big surprise, because the old day, the original 8 teams in the American, 8 teams in the National, you built a ballpark downtown in what the city block would offer, so that unusual dimensions were dictated by the real estate that you were employing. And when you see swinging and a miss here by Garrett Jones, when I saw what really the the footprint of where Tiger Stadium rests. He said, really? They got all those people, 50,000 people into that little area?
Unreal.
Garrett Jones has grounded out, struck out, and he waves at that one. Ted Williams, of course, well documented. He was my favorite. The San Diego's one and only. Greatest hitter I've ever seen, and some would argue the greatest hitter ever. Certainly the last to hit 400. And once he became a little long in the tooth, because he always hit so well in Detroit. It was only 325 down the line, and then in right field, the second deck hung over the field, so it was really short to straightaway right field.
Yeah, Dick, I wish the new ballpark had that. There's certain elements you wish you took, and it's part of that history, and you can't replicate it. But I think that with the new stadium in Detroit, I wish they did that in right field.
So does Cabrera. He did 70 home runs.
Well, Cabrera doesn't mind hitting anywhere.
No. And so we all in Detroit said, well, he's 38, 39 now. Maybe they'll trade Boston Ted Williams to Detroit. And so I asked Ted once over breakfast when he made a visit here, what if you'd been traded, even at 38, 39? How many home runs do you think you would have hit in the full season in Detroit? Without hesitation, he said 80.
It's confidence, isn't it?
He did eat up that ballpark.
Some places you just feel much more comfortable in. You probably believed him when he said 80, right?
Well, if he played in a doubleheader, you could almost count on 3 to 5.
Oh, yeah.
2-2 now to Garrett Jones with Martin at first, the leadoff walk. We're in the 6th, 3-1. Pittsburgh leads. Shot to second. Jerko, good play. There's one. Back to first. Hot double play. And a beauty. 4-6-3. Jerko making an excellent play there at second base.
Dick, they talk about slowing the game down right here, and great glove work by Jed Jerko. It's slowing it down.
Look at the way he pops up here.
In a nice slide, and he gets himself in a position to make an easier throw to Cedeno. Great turn by both of them up the middle. You got to be strong up the middle, and that's a great turn. You always love the double play, don't you?
Oh, that's my favorite play, because when you come to the ball, you're liable to see one or more every game, and just the whole articulation of. They did all of that. Jerko making a fine stop, quick throw, good catch, good throw. Cedeno catch. Alonso. There's a line drive left center field. Decker there to close the gap, but that all was accomplished in less than 4 seconds. 4-6-3. Here at Petco for our San Diego fan and fans of the game, young and old. Hey, now that's stylishly tired.
Oh, yeah.
And those kids without a care. Well, the Padre fans do, though. They need a couple to tie here as Alonso's had a tough night. Takes ball one. Struck out both times. Chased a ball in the dirt. Angry at himself in the first. Struck out swinging in third. Angry at plate umpire Eddings.
And when you're angry at the umpire, then you have to start locking it in because you know you're not going to get any favors the rest of the night.
2-0 the count.
Here's that frustration from Yonder Alonso, and they had a conversation. It escalated, in my estimation, a little too much by Doug Eddings. Yonder Alonso gets pushed away, but you got to lock it in and separate that.
Check swing foul, and that won't make him happy. It cost him a strike. 87 pitches now for Burnett.
Well, it's something that I love. It's the human element. I always talk about the replays and so many things about the game, but the human element about this game makes it, in my estimation, the best officiated sport.
Ground ball sharply, bobbled by Alvarez, recovers, throws, in time. And Alonso not the speediest of runners, and Alvarez able to save a second error charge to him tonight on a close play at first.
Well, sometimes you have the ability as a third baseman to make an error and make up for it with your arm. Strong throw by Alvarez. You can see Yonder getting out of the box. No need to look at the play, youngsters. Put your head down and run through the bag.
Hit the ball sharply, and of course that also helped Alvarez. Churko with a home run the last time takes a fastball strike. He also is grounded out. Most single season home runs by a Padres second baseman, Brett Boone, 13 years ago with 19. Mark Loretta was 16.
Watch out, Mark Loretta.
Churko might well become the all-time single season home run hitter by a second sacker.
Well, this young man can hit. So many times you have to have a base of at-bats to feel very comfortable, and he's going to get a comfort level. I believe he's going to soar.
Yep, that's right at the knees. 1 and 2. So he didn't play in 37 games this year. Sweeps that one foul. He gets into him. The ball flies.
Well, I like how he pulls the baseball on a mistake. He pulls his hands in. This is straight as a string. The power is going to evolve even more as he goes along. That consistency part. Power pack swing with a short stroke.
That ball's hit not so well. Got it off the label part of the bat and flies it out to left field. 2 away. Well, we hope you'll be at Petco coming up on Sunday. That'll be U.S. Air Force Appreciation Day presented by USAA. As always on Sunday, a special pregame ceremony honoring the men and women who serve in the U.S. Air Force before the Padres take the field against the Chicago Cubs, a 1:10 start. Get your tickets now at Padres.com or call 619-795-5555. 2 outs. Here's Chase Headley. He has struck out both times. Oh, how about tomorrow afternoon? It's a 3:40 start. We'll be on the air 3 o'clock, Fox Sports San Diego. It'll be USC against UCLA.
I can't wait.
Ian Kennedy against Jarrett Cole, the former Bruin, the rookie right-hander for the Pirates. Watch out. That sliced liner back of the dugout of the Bucks.
With Garrett Cole, you're going to get a power fastball tomorrow.
Garrett is 6-5 in his rookie year, just 22 years of age.
Make his 13th major league start tomorrow. They're expecting big things for the Pirate organization.
He goes again. Headley, the trifecta, 3 strikeouts tonight.
Grace, top of the 7th inning. Mark Loretta and I working on the post-game show. Right now, Tyson Ross seems to be impressing, I think, a lot of fans out here, just his ability to keep this team in the game.
No, unfortunately, that's what's been happening the last 2 nights. Tyson Ross and Andrew Cashner have kept the team in the game, but the offense hasn't been able to pick them up yet.
Well, hopefully we'll get a few more runs, have something really fun to talk about in the post-game show. Just the same, we've got a great instructional for you. Mark Loretta is going to teach you young players and coaches the art of fielding fundamentals, how to make sure you make the routine play every single time. We'll have all that, plus you'll hear from the manager, Buddy Black, when we see you after the final out. Dick and Mark?
And someday Mike will have his own instructional and how you hold the microphone with the left hand, not the right.
Yes.
Oh, he does that well.
He does it so well.
Fabulous.
I'm learning. I learn everything from Pomerantz. No offense, Dick.
Jordy Mercer leads off the 7th inning. Poor Mike can't even retaliate here. They got his mic shut off.
Oh, we'll give him time tomorrow.
All right. Mercer, Burnett, and Tapeda for the Bucks in the top of the 7th inning. Mercer is struck out and grounded to short. He is a left-hander, so that's all natural form.
Gotta stick together.
Ross falls behind 3-0. Another quality start for Tyson Ross. He's allowed 2 earned runs of the 3 scored, 5 hits. Last hit was Sanchez leading off the 4th inning. Strike. Whoops. Mercer had already thrown the bat away, and plate umpire Eddings won't like that a bit.
Yeah, they don't like that. Take a look at a 3-0 pitch, and there's a little bit of liberty when it comes to 3-0 pitches.
That looked a little low there, but with the downward plane of Ross's fastball.
I think even Nick Hundley thought that was down. You could see pitch number 4 is off the plate.
Yeah, that should have been ball 4. Now it's 3-2 on the swing and a miss by Mercer. Soft fly ball center, long run Amarista. That's going to fall for a Texas League single. And alertly, Ross goes over to cover second base because the shortstop, second baseman were both out trying to get that ball. And a big turn taken by Mercer, and Ross hustled his way to second base.
Well, instead of the walk, he gets a slider off the plate and off the end of the bat. And that falls into no man's land. And credit Tyson Ross from hustling from his position to second base, so Mercer doesn't take an extra bag.
Brings up Burnett, a sacrifice situation. He bunted into a fielder's choice in the 1st inning, takes ball 1, and struck out swinging in the 4th.
Well, so many things impress you about Tyson Ross, and he looks exactly what he looked like in the 1st inning as he is here in the 7th.
Two and 0. Doesn't want to get himself into a jam here with a pitcher at the plate. He wants to give himself up. And a bunt foul, 2-1. Dale Thayer getting ready in the Padre pen. Ross trying to hold the score 3-1 and hope the Padres can hit home plate. They have only 1 run in the 2 games of the series, and that was Jerko's home run tonight in the 4th. Another bunt foul. That might have been ball 3.
Yeah, good breaking ball. He expected the fastball, bunts it right to Buddy Black. He fields it, goes right into the stands.
Well, excuse me, Padres got a run in the 9th inning last night on the RBI double by Nick Hundley. So 2 runs in the 2 games of the series. 3-1 the final last night, 3-1 the score tonight.
It's like another slider.
And the count now full to Burnett. Tyson Ross making it tough on himself here in this inning, as he's reached the century mark.
Well, other than that 1st inning, been pretty economical. Hasn't thrown that changeup too much tonight. I think you have to show that, put it in the minds of the hitters moving forward.
Ball 4. He walks the pitcher. Second walk of the night for Ross. And that moves Mercer to second base. And the table set now for the Pirates to try to add to their 3-1 advantage. Jose Tabata, the leadoff man, is 0 for 3. He's playing again tonight because Starling Marte, who has been maybe the most productive leadoff hitter in the entire National League, is out for the second straight game with a bruised hand. He was stepped on sliding.
When we got the first lineups, Marte was in there. And they had to scratch him, so that hand must be still bothering him just enough. But when you win that first game, you can do that as manager. Every single day, these Pittsburgh Pirates understand the importance of winning ball games.
Nick Leva, the third base coach, verbally giving Tabata the sign. Padres expecting a bunt.
A lot of options for Clint Hurdle here.
He likes to play for that extra run. He'll bunt with his middle of the lineup, even, well, of course, all the way down to the bottom, but with a 3-1 advantage to get both men over in scoring position. You got Walker and McCutchen. Alvarez, the best of the lineup to follow.
Well, I think this, as a manager, you have so many options because you understand your starting pitching has given you innings, and you have a strong bullpen to go along with that.
He is trying to bunt, and it's a good one. Sharply hit. Headley has to make the play, and that's exactly where you want to bunt it. He moves Mercer to third, and the pitcher Burnett to second.
Just getting the job done. Running it hard to the third baseman. Got to make that third baseman make the play. Advance the runners. Nice execution by Tabata.
Brings up Neil Walker. Homered in the first inning, his 8th of the year. Hit by a pitch in the third leading off and came around on Alvarez triple. Look at that. Runners in scoring position. They're second only to the Cubs in failure to bring the runner in.
And that's amazing how many wins they've had and the record. It shows all about the pitching and the defense that they've had throughout the year.
Bud Black's on his way to the dugout, and we're going to have a pitching change here apparently. Dale Thayer has been getting loose. Walker's a switch hitter, so he'll just stay up there left-handed if Thayer is the call. It may be that Bud wants to give Ross. It's a long conversation, and now he says, yes, I'm going to make the change. 102 pitches. No complaints about Tyson Ross. Only 2 earned runs, but he leaves the game trailing 3-1. Dale Thayer will be coming in from the bullpen as Bud Black, apparently the wrong pitcher was about to enter the game. He said, hey. He wants the right-hander. He made that quite certain. And it is Thayer. 1 out, 7th inning, runners at second and third. Park in San Diego. Pirates leading 3-1. Dale Thayer has completed his warm-up tosses, making his 58th appearance of the year. .219 batting average against for the right-hander from Chico State. Infield in, runners at second and third. Neil Walker scored 2 of the 3 runs tonight. That'll be out of play.
He tried to cheat on that fastball. You see the numbers for Tyson Ross. Solid night tonight.
It should be good enough to win you some games, but the Padres' failure to score of late made it tough on the starting rotation. Pirates are 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position tonight, true to character on the season. They are trying to keep it that way. Hundley trying to keep those runners alert.
Now with Nick Hundley taking a chance, you have Dale Thayer throwing the fastball. That's a sign in between Nick Hundley and Chase Headley. You got to be sure you can catch that ball if you're Chase Headley. And that's a sign in between pitches.
Just missed that pitch 3, close to a strike. 2-1. 3-1 with the bases empty. The first inning, second man to hit. Neil Walker got into a 3-1 fastball from Tyson Ross and planted it over that right center field fence for home run number 8 and an early 1-0 lead. They got a second run in the inning on an error by Jerko and an RBI double by Russell Martin. So a 2-0 start for the Pirates. Foul back. We mentioned earlier they score first. They really win most of the game. They're 49-21 when they score first. There's a Pirates box score. 2 hits for Gabby Sanchez down there in the 7th hole.
Well, Dick, you talk about scoring first. I mean, that's just building your identity as a ball club. You go down and you talk to people in the Pittsburgh Pirates organization. They talk about confidence. They see it in the eyes, and they like the change of culture.
Ground ball to Jerko. The play will be at the plate, and they get him. Running into a brick wall was Jordy Mercer as Hundley had that plate shut down.
That's exactly what he did. He shut it down. Jed Jerko does a nice job on this ground ball. Infield in. He fields that short hop and throws a strike, but Nick Hundley blocking that plate. Mercer didn't even get to the plate. He just drops his pads right on you. Not a comfortable feeling if you're the base runner trying to slide in to those shin pads.
So 2 out. McCutcheon, the top hitter for the Pirates at .317, is grounded out, struck out, and flied out. First and third. So on the play, Walker safe at first on the fielder's choice, and Burnett is still on the bases. Been a long inning on his feet for the Padre pitcher, or the Pirate pitcher.
And hopefully that's to the Padres' benefit.
(2-0) to McCutcheon. Well, I like what Hurdle says about this man. This is the words of Hurdle. I don't think I've ever met a more intelligent, mentally tough, balanced young man in my life than Andrew McCutcheon.
Well, balanced is the key too. He understands the importance of every big situation. Clint Hurdle talks about that, about handling those tough situations just like you would handle every situation.
He needs 1 home run to have 100 in his career. He just took a swing for one, didn't he? 2-1 the count. Tyson Ross, a studied spectator. That's in there.
Nice location with a fastball.
Tuesday night crowd urged by the scoreboard, looking for a strikeout. 2-2, way outside. That'll give Walker at first a head start.
He reached back for a little bit extra right there.
Drive to center. There comes Amarista. He can't get it. And it's by him. And that has a potential for at least a triple. 2-run score. McCutcheon stand-up triple. Gets by, but backed up by Thayer. And a big blow. And finally, the Pirates got their big hitter up in a crucial spot. And McCutcheon delivers a 2-run triple. Amarista, who's made some great catches, couldn't get to that one.
And he had to dive after this one, but the primetime players step up in the right situations. Great effort by Alexi Amarista. He has to dive for that ball, and because the Padres need that out. But McCutcheon going around, an impressive athletic, but he handled the situation the right way. Got no situation with 3-2 count. Came up with a big hit.
And a 4-run lead, 5-1 now on the 2-run triple by Andrew McCutcheon. And a pitching change made by Bud Black as Pedro Alvarez, the cleanup hitter and the home run hitter, will face cold hands when we come back. By Mossy Toyota, thousands of vehicles, one trusted name, Mossy.com. By Petco, where the healthy pets go. And by your San Diego County Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a luxurious Lexus automobile today. Colt Hines to Pedro Alvarez, safe on an error, scored in the first, tripled in a run in the third, grounded out the last time. McCutcheon at third base with 2 more RBIs, now has 71 on the season.
Well, Colt Hines, the last time out, August 16th against the Mets. 3 strikeouts in an inning and a third. Big situation here.
And he falls behind Alvarez 3-0.
He's got to handle these left on left situations moving forward as the organization tries to handle and try to find that left-handed specialist.
Not even close to Alvarez with first base open. Maybe that was one of those pitch around walks.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the San Diego Padres. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the San Diego Padres.
Don't tell Bud Black, though, that that was a pitch around. He brought in Hines to get the left-handed batter out. Now he has to face the right-handed hitting Russell Martin. Doubled in a run, tap to the mound and walk. 1 for 2 for Martin. First and third with 2 outs, and the Pirates extending their lead now in the top of the 7th inning, 5-1. You know that McCutchen, as you think about it, what an outstanding player, an all-star he is. His son is going to go out and talk to Hines 5 straight balls. He was so good down in Florida growing up, McCutchen, that he made the varsity high school team as an 8th grader.
I believe it.
Only hit .507 as an 8th grader.
Well, that young man has changed the organization. You have to have a primetime player to build around. And that's the star player right there in that uniform. And he embraces those opportunities. Clint Hurdle talks very highly of him.
And he plays both sides of the game. He's an outstanding outfielder. There's a strike, and it's 1-1 to Martin. So 6 of the 7 pitches from Hines have been out of the strike zone. Flirting with trouble with Martin ready to pull the trigger. First and third, 2 outs. Just did catch the outside corner with a changeup. Hines, of course, filling the role left by the trade, Joe Thatcher. In the dirt, full count. Another changeup, or is that a slow curveball? Curveball. It drives managers crazy. He cannot defend the base on balls. And he walked Martin. So Hines comes in, walks both Alvarez and Martin. Now the base is loaded for Garrett Jones. But he's going to be called back, so no left-hander against left-hander. Going to have a pinch hitter for Jones.
Darren Balsley, the pitching coach, is going to go have a conversation, try to get him back mechanically and understand this situation right here.
Josh Harrison, who started the game last night in right field, will pinch hit.
Hey, Padre fans, get a brand new Padres cap Saturday, August 24th, when your Padres take on the Chicago Cubs at 5:40 p.m. The first 25,000 fans will take home a new Padres ball cap presented by State Farm. Get your tickets today at Padres.com. It's a sweet lid.
That is nice looking. You don't have to show the fans that. How about that, folks?
Yeah, I like that.
That's a nice giveaway item, huh? Got the Padres logo on the back. I don't know one of those, and it's all nicely embroidered.
Good looking hat.
That's Saturday night, folks. The Cubs, a 5:40 game. Let's see who you'll see pitch. Stoltz will be on the mound against Jeff Samardzija of the Cubs. Bases loaded. And Harrison, the pinch hitter, pulls it foul. It count 2 strikes on him. So we have USC against UCLA tomorrow night, the final game of this 3-game series. Ian Kennedy against Garrett Cole. There's Kennedy. 2 of his 3 starts for the Padres, outstanding. Another foul. Volquez and Edwin Jackson will open the Friday night Cubs series. Then Stoltz and Samardzija Saturday, and Sunday it'll be Kashner against left-hander Chris Rusin. McCutchen, Alvarez, and Martin aboard for the Pirates. Fly ball right center field, and that's aimed for the alley, and it's going to go all the way to the wall. Pinch hitter Harrison has driven in 1, driven in 2, and has driven in 3 on another triple as the Pirates break it open here in the 7th inning. A 2-run triple and a bases loaded triple, and they now lead it 8-1.
Well, Dick, when you're in first place, you know you're making some right decisions as a manager. Credit Clint Hurdle for putting his players in good situations. And Harrison backing his manager with a nice stroke to right center. clearing the bases.
Colts had him down 2 strikes, but Harrison delivers. And now they've hit around as Gabby Sanchez comes up. He's 2 for 3 with a line out to left. So Tyson Ross, he left 2 runners. They both scored. So instead of 2 unearned runs, it became 4. Ground ball to Cedeno, and thankfully, finally, the Pirates gone, but they leave with 5 more runs.
Eight to 1 Pirates over the Padres, bottom of the 7th. It's sports fans, Fox Sports Live nightly. The sports and highlight show you've been waiting for is here. Fox Sports Live, as Jay Onright and Dan O'Toole are joined by Donovan McNabb, Gary Payton, Annie Roddick, and Carissa Thompson to bring you everything you need to know about the world of sports. Fox Sports Live airs nightly on Fox Sports 1.
Great reviews about the debut on Saturday, Fox Sports 1. A.J. Burnett now in the comfort of an 8-1 lead. An ugly top of the 7th. You saw the look of Bud Black as Padre pitching allowed 3 walks in the inning, and of course all 3 scored. 5 runs on only 3 hits in the inning. Harrison stays in the game in right field, and Hundley sends a ball to him on the first pitch from Burnett in the bottom of the 7th inning. So Burnett 5-8 on the season, in good position to pick up his 6th victory of the year and his 143rd career win. A man who pitched a no-hitter against these Padres 12 years ago at Qualcomm Stadium. Jeff Decker has a single and 2 trips. May 12, 2001. I'm sure some of you fans watching tonight were at Qualcomm for that game. A most unusual no-hitter. As Burnett barely could throw a strike at times, walked 9 and hit 1 and still had a no-hitter. That's amazing. Tim Stauffer getting loose.
That's not the ideal line for a no-hitter, but he will take it.
First player in modern history to walk 9 in a 9-inning no-hitter. His cap and the ball went to Cooperstown. I understand the ball is still rattling around there in Cooperstown.
Yeah. Well, that's a good ratio for 100 pitches. 67 strikes. Now with an 8-1 lead, he can throw in any situation.
And here's the final out. Phil Nevin, the final out, and this ball barely came down. That was about as high a fly on the infield. Look, still up there, still up there. And young Burnett then, 24 years of age, had A no-hitter, a most unusual no-hitter.
You can see the emotion of Charles Johnson, the catcher, there too, and working through a no-hitter. That chemistry we always talk about between the catcher and pitcher. And that's a moment that I think Charles Johnson and A.J. Burnett will never forget.
Apparently the pitch by Burnett to Nevin was a strike, and Nevin, of course, popping up. Decker, Sanchez, and the pitcher Burnett covering, 2 away. That at that point he had thrown as many balls as strikes in the game.
Well, the ratio we talked about was not good in that game, but when it comes out, it's all about throwing a no-hitter, and he's got one in the major leagues. Puts things in perspective.
And then,
Padre organization have never had a no-hitter.
Isn't that amazing? We talked to Andrew Kastner today. He's going to be a subject of our Coffee and Me series. I asked him just that question. You think you've got one in you? Somebody's going to pitch one of these days. He said, I really do. I think, of course, you got to be lucky. You got to have a couple of line drives caught and that sort of thing. But there have been times, he said, in my career, I've gotten the 8th inning with a no-hitter. I said, boy, wouldn't that be something?
Well, he's got the stuff to do it. I think he has the drive to go along with that. Yes, this game brings us some special moments. A no-hitter's got to be so exciting just to be a part of if you're a pitcher. That's your ultimate dream.
Yeah. Ronnie Cedeno, 2-0 the count. Fouls it away. Well, think about Burnett tonight. He gave up the home run to Jerko, legitimate. That ball was crushed. But the other 2 hits, one was off the shortstop's glove. The other was a tap by Will Venable on the infield. So two balls that might well have been outs, and he's pitching a one-hitter.
Well, I think you're right, Dick. There is a little bit of luck that's involved.
Well, there's a line drive, solid single to right field. Cedeno with a 4th Padre hit. That'll bring up the pitcher's spot.
Just a nice approach by Ronnie Cedeno going the other way.
Logan Forsythe will be the pinch hitter.
And take this fastball that's middle in, and you go the other way. That's staying short to the baseball and pulling your hands in. I think Ronnie Cedeno does that very well. Solid line drive to right.
Forsythe. He started last night, had a single and a double.
Had some solid at bats last night.
2 of the 6 Padre hits. Then Mazzaro getting ready for the Pirates as Burnett is now throwing 108 pitches. And quickly in front of Forsythe, 2 strikes.
You look up for Logan Forsythe and 215. That's not going to get it done. I think he expects a lot more. We talked about the tinkering with your stance and trying to think of things. It looks like he thinks a little bit too much in the batter's box. Last night he looked very comfortable.
I mean, he has such a quick stroke. You would think that he'd be up in the 270s.
Yeah, we talked about the strong hands. I love Logan Forsythe and his approach, but you can tinker a little bit too much at times, especially as a younger player trying to cut your teeth in this game.
And not being an everyday player makes it all the more difficult.
It does.
And every bat's so important to you.
But everyone wants to put that major league uniform on. You do whatever it takes, whatever the manager asks, and you have to develop a routine that's going to get you comfortable every single day, no matter what role you're in.
And he has a baseball toughness you have to admire.
No, that's what everyone falls in love with.
2-2 now the count. That's not going to go anywhere. Dying in left center, and McCutchen easily makes the grab. And the Padres are gone in the 7th. It's an 8-1 Pittsburgh lead.
asking your questions for Houston Street. And Mickey Koch writes in asking, what's the most difficult pitch to hit other than a located fastball? Here's Houston's answer.
Probably a located changeup. I think the changeup is the pitch that it's an equalizer in any account, any at bat. And you see guys with good changeups, they're successful year in and year out. I think the cutter is also a pitch I don't really have. My slider can be a cutter sometimes, but the changeup down and away, or the cutter in, two toughest pitches.
Mark Sweeney, I know you always say it's not the velocity, but it's the movement that scares you as a hitter. What do you think the most difficult pitch to hit is?
Well, Laura, I think it is the changeup, and I don't even think it's located, because if you have to locate your pitches, but if you have good arm speed, you have that same release point. I constantly talk about what Trevor Hoffman did with a fastball changeup mix. Well, the greatest strength he had, his release point was exactly the same. He had great arm speed, and he made a lot of hitters foolish. But that cutter is evolving in this game, and Houston Street's right. It's that changeup, but also the cutter as well.
All right, the cutter versus the slider. What's the difference?
Well, cutter almost goes side to side, and it's just a little deviation of how you handle the pitch. And everyone throws it differently, but it's that side to side. You look at Mariano Rivera, he coined that. Is amazing how much he could move a fastball like that, a cut fastball, with velocity.
So it might move as much as a slider.
Yeah, and it does. I mean, the slider almost breaks down and in to a left-hander from a right-handed pitcher. But you look at, you marvel at what Mariano Rivera did with that pitch because of velocity. You don't think you can move that type of velocity on a pitch, and he moved it at least a foot. But somebody's cutter, it's just all about getting off the barrel of the bat.
Fan that's happy, stayed around, gets himself a souvenir. Mercer led off the last inning, the 5-run 7th for the Pirates, with that bloop single to center field against Tyson Ross. Then AJ Burnett, trying to bunt, was walked by Ross. Tabata sacrificed them along, and Ross left the game, at the time having allowed only 2 earned runs. Ground ball to short, that went off the fist, and Forsythe, who stays in the game at shortstop, makes the out. Well, we understand that center fielder Cameron Maben is here in the ballpark. Laura, what's that all about?
Well, I wish I could tell you it was good news. Unfortunately, it's not for Cameron Maben. They actually had to take him off of his rehab assignment because he just couldn't get over the hump there. And there was a chance that he might get a second opinion on his knee. It turns out that is the plan here. The PCL was damaged, and he just hasn't gotten to the point where he can play 100%. Bud Black said it isn't fair to a player, an athlete like Cameron Maben, who uses his legs like he does to play in a situation where the stability isn't back yet. So they take him off the rehab assignment and rest him, guys.
AJ Burnett got a good piece of that one, and he's thrown out by Forsythe. When you think about it, fans, Cameron Maben, counted on to be the starting center fielder this season, has played a total of 14 games. Carlos Quinton has played only 82 games, so that's 96 between them. So combined for the season, 2 players counted upon to be part of the offense, a combined 257 with only 14 homers, only 49 runs batted in.
Yeah, Dick, the teams always deal with adversity, and there's a lot of times where the Padres have gone through a rash of injuries, but it's disappointing for Cameron Maben. It's just maturing in this game. He needs those games. He needs those at bats. Unfortunately, he's not going to get them.
How about Forsythe? Stays in the game, and he has all 3 assists. 6-3, 6-3, 6-3. On to the bottom of the 8th. And the Pirates with an 8-1 lead. And this is one of the days that I don't think any team sport, professional sport, cherishes. The official photo day for the 2013 season. They all grumble and they all get out there, and it takes the poor photographers forever to finally get everyone to sit still and get that perfect shot.
Yeah, and I love that. It's all about the front office, too. After the regular team photo, you get the front office in there, and they do the grunt work for this ball club, and there's many thanks that should be extended to the front office. They do a tremendous job here, both in the community and also, but an outstanding job. Yes, smiles out there for the team photo.
Yeah, they let them have a little fun, but organizing that many players, all of them have their own way. That it's been accomplished. So a major victory before the game today as Vin Mazzaro comes in for Pittsburgh. They let Burnett hit in the last inning, and now they bring in a relief pitcher.
Yeah, I think that's short of bench. They have an extra pitcher on the staff. But through that 16-inning game against the Diamondbacks the other day, and they had to be secure with enough pitching coming into this series.
But they get two great starts from Liriano and now Burnett. That really has helped Clint Hurdle's bullpen take a breather. And with an 8-1 lead, he can not use one of his regulars out of the pen. It goes to Mazzaro, who's done a good job of late. 8 straight scoreless appearances.
He basically does it with 2 pitches. You can see our Fox tracks by Southland Technology. Again, the fastball's in. Number 3. They like pitching inside with the fastball. He has a fastball slider mix. Here's the slider.
Venable, a couple of ground outs and an infield hit. Amarista and Alonso to follow. 26-year-old Mazzaro, acquired from Kansas City. That was last winter, along with infielder Clint Robinson. Luis Rico and Luis Santos went from Pittsburgh to the Royals.
Now that little girl is very happy. So is Dad. She got a ball souvenir.
Down low and a full count to Venable. Had his 15-game hitting streak, his longest in his career, snapped last night by Liriano and others. Justin Wilson and Mark Melanson. You were raving about that young Wilson.
Oh, tremendous stuff out of the bullpen.
Strike 3. Mazzaro has his first K. That's the 8th tonight by Pittsburgh pitching. Padres have struck out 67 times in 6 games in this homestand.
I don't know if it's about pitching inside or what that does to you, but it's had effect, especially these last 2 nights.
A couple of fly ball outs for Amarista and a walk. Mazzaro growing up near Giant Stadium in New Jersey, across the river from the Big Apple. 92 with that fastball. He's 26. That ball hit well by Amarista to deep right center field. A long run and unable to get there. The outfield, and here comes the relay. Here comes Amarista. He's in with a head first slide. A good relay that had gotten Amarista. But with 1 out, that's the play. Risk reward. Try to make it to third, even though it's an 8-1 game.
Well, you got to marvel of, for one, the power in Alexi Amarista's bat. He shoots this to the deepest part of the ballpark. And then I commend him for his hustle. Hustling around those bags. And yes, Dick, you're right. With a good relay, that might have been a lot closer than it was. Credit Alexi Amarista hustling around the bags.
4th triple of the season for Amarista. Diving into that third base pool safely. Yonder Alonso tried to pick him up. Alonso, a forgettable night, a couple of strikeouts and a ground out. Up the middle and gloved nicely by Mazzaro. He took a hit away and an RBI from Alonso, holding Amarista at third.
Well, Dick, when the infield's in, a hard ground ball middle of the infield is something that usually works. Mazzaro gloves that ball. Fortunate for Yonder Alonso, adds to the frustrations.
Jerko accounting for the only Padre run with his 14th homer this season off Burnett. Takes a breaking ball for a strike. 8 runs, 8 hits for the visitors from Pittsburgh. 1 run and 5 hits for the Padres. Again tomorrow, 3:40 the game start, final game of the series, 3 o'clock here on Fox Sports San Diego. Ian Kennedy, the former Trojan, against Garrett Cole, the ex-Bruin. 93, a little extra on that one from Mazzaro.
Good movement with that fastball.
Off his glove, throw to first in time.
Wow.
And the Padres unable to take advantage of the 1-out triple by Amarista. On to the 9th. The Bucks by 7. Star of the game, hardly a junior, the 36-year-old veteran A.J. Burnett. Outstanding pitching. 7 innings, 1 earned run, 4 hits, walked only 1 and struck out 7.
Also backed by offense too tonight, making it a little bit easier for A.J. Burnett. Throw anything in any situation, but did it with basically 2 pitches, fastball and curveball. Impressive night.
Top of the 9th inning, and Tim Stauffer's 2nd inning of work. Neil Walker, Andrew McCutchen, and Pedro Alvarez for Pittsburgh. Padres tonight 1 for 4 runners in scoring position, but only 11 for 61 in the homestand. That's a 180 average. Line drive foul off the bat of Walker, who homered his first time up, hit by a pitch in the 3rd, scored on Alvarez's triple.
Nice play by our ball girl down the right field line.
Yeah, she's good. She's got a good glove.
Gave a little knuckles to the security guard right next door. Probably game planning.
Swing and a miss at a change.
Good change up by Stoff.
Well, the Padres last year put some punishment on the Pirates. Remember, they failed in the second half after a good first half, and part of that was San Diego winning 5 out of 6. And that one apparently nicked Walker. He must have.
Where's he going?
Plate umpire said, no, that didn't hit you.
I think he was trying to sell it right there.
Get up there and swing the bat. And here comes Clint Hurdle. That's all a matter of sound, and ball against clothing sometimes doesn't quite give that plate umpire the clue needed. No serious argument there. That's just Hurdle protecting his player.
8-1. Get in there and swing the
bat. Yeah, you got a home run. You've scored 3 runs tonight, Neil Walker. Come on.
Yeah, I played for Clint Hurdle, but you know what? There's situations in the game where he's got to say, hey, let's go.
1-2. So you swing the bat, and you're rewarded with a base hit. Drops one into left field.
Of course, it's going to work out that way. I always believe in making your own breaks, and the Pittsburgh Pirates have done that the last couple of days.
Well, remember, Jordy Mercer thought he had walked on a 3-0 pitch, and it went to 3-2. I mean, he actually thrown the bat away, and then he singled that bloop single to left. That started the whole 5-run 8th inning. So it's worked out both times for the Pirate player who tried to influence plate umpire Eddings and failed, but then they succeeded with base hits. McCutchen, that was the big blow, the killer blow, the 2-run triple.
Well, Dick, you talked about it earlier, and Clint Hurdle, with the struggles the Pirates had with the Padres last year, I guarantee that was voiced coming into this series. Let's not let that happen, what happened to us last year. They were on a roll. McCutchen struggled in both series, both in Pittsburgh and here in San Diego.
Padres swept them here.
You always remember those things, especially Clint Hurdle. He'll write things down. He'll give you those little tidbits as a ball club and communicate that so it doesn't happen again. Changing the culture.
It was McCutchen with Tyson Ross out of the game against Dale Thayer that delivered the 2-run triple to right center field that took the game from 3-1 to 5-1. And then Josh Harrison, the pinch hitter, a 3-run triple, made it a 5-run inning. Ball does jump off his bat.
He's got a quick bat. We always talk about a short swing. This is a short swing with a lot of power in it. Took that Dale Thayer fastball up and almost out of the zone and drove it to right center.
Unusual night. 3 triples in the game. McCutchen and the pinch hitter Harrison, 2 in 1 inning. And he chases there. Strike 3. Well, look ahead to tomorrow, 3 o'clock here on Fox Sports San Diego for Padres Live. Ian Kennedy, the right-hander from the University of Southern California, against Garrett Cole, who is 6-5, the rookie 22-year-old, who was the #1 player picked a couple of years ago in the draft from UCLA. That's tomorrow, 3 o'clock here on Fox Sports San Diego. Hope you have your tickets and come out for a late afternoon ball game at Petco.
I'm excited about Ian Kennedy pitching again here at Petco Park. Good changeup, good breaking ball, locating his fastball. He can eat up innings for this pitching staff. Darren Balsley and also Bud Black are very excited about that trade when it happened. It's going to take them into next year, giving them an established pitcher on their pitching staff to go along with Andrew Kashner, Tyson Ross. I like that addition.
Now 2-1 to Alvarez, who has scored 2 runs tonight, safe on an error by Jerko, scored in the first inning on Russell Martin's double, tripled in a run in the third, grounded out, and walked and scored. One of the 3 men who walked in the 7th inning all came around to hit home plate. Shift is on. He'll be out of play, 2-2. The 3 triples tonight is the 5th time that has happened in the history of Petco Park. All 3 triples in the right center field alley. That's where you're going to get the 3 base hit. Swing and a miss. Changeup, and Alvarez has struck out for the 152nd time.
Charger fans, it's time to bolt up. Tune in August 28th on Fox Sports San Diego for Chargers Insider. Each week, join Laura McKeeman as she talks with Coach McCoy on his thoughts for the road ahead. Plus, the crew breaks down the X's and O's. Chargers Insider premieres August 28th on Fox Sports San Diego.
And the football season just around the corner, the start of the season. Third exhibition game coming up this week for the Chargers. Oh, and by the way, we haven't had a chance to congratulate, but you all know that tomorrow in the Little League World Series, East Lake will try to beat Westport, Connecticut, and get into the U.S. Finals. And then the winner of that on Saturday goes for the championship. Meanwhile, Tijuana winning 12-0 and 13-0 against Australia and Panama. They play Japan tomorrow, and if they win, they're in the international final. Wouldn't that be something?
A dream matchup.
San Diego play Tijuana for the Little League.
Love to see it.
Good luck to those young kids. Foul back by Martin. He's walked twice, doubled in a run, 1 for 2 tonight.
I love the Little League World Series. I love watching it on TV.
And the kids there emulating their stars, even trying to spit properly.
Oh, yeah.
Fouled away. It's just sometimes they get a close up and that pitcher, he's trying to look real tough up there and tries to gather up a little can't even say the word spit.
Oh, I've done that plenty of times.
And nothing comes out.
Well, the experience and exposure that they have, and we're excited for both of those clubs, especially for being from this region.
High pop up. Hundley in foul territory. And that's it for Pittsburgh in the ninth. Padres coming up. Last call, Headley, Hundley, and Decker.
Fans, make sure you tune into Padres POV every Friday. It's the way to get your weekend started off right. And this weekend, we went to Balboa Park. We showed all the inside scoop over there. It's a beautiful place. We also explore the language of baseball. And guys, I have to come clean. I rode the carousel and the little tiny train, the kid train, the Balboa Express over there. And I didn't realize these days how fast carousels spin. I was thinking about losing my breakfast on that thing.
Well, thanks for sharing. But isn't that a fabulous place? I'm so glad you had a chance in your first year here in San Diego to go to our great park. I mean, there's so many people that live here don't take the time to go to I mean, the zoo, yes, it's one of the best in the entire world, but there's so much more up there. This sports museum, the natural history, the gardens, the old globe, the aeronautical museum with one of its stars, Jerry Coleman. I mean, it's just a fabulous place to bring your entire family in.
I agree.
and enjoy just what, 5-10 minutes out of the heart of the city. All right, Jared Hughes, the pitcher here in the bottom of the 9th inning. And Headley leads it off and drives it to center field for a base hit. So after being punched out 3 straight times, Headley delivers a single to center to open the 9th inning. That'll bring up Nick Hundley, who has grounded out twice and flied to right. Well, Nick coming into the game 6 for 10 since baby Allison was born with a home run. Hit the ball hard the first time, but right at Alvarez at third base. Inside. So Mazzaro goes an inning, allowed the triple but no runs. Struck out 1. Now Hughes. 1-1.
You can see that 2-seam action by Hughes. You talk about a heavy ball, you can hear the mid of Russell Martin.
Born a firecracker, Jared Hughes, 4th of July. 28 years of age now. Long Beach State. And it's 1-2. Grew up nearby Rancho Santa Margarita High School. Played 1 year at Santa Clara before going to Cal State Long Beach, where his teammate was Troy Tulowitzki. Evan Longoria too. What a team that 49er bunch.
It's a lot of talent. Talking about talent, stay tuned for our Padres postgame. Padres Live. Mike Pomeranz, Mark Loretta tonight. Hear about Ross, Tyson Ross, and his start, and also Bud Black.
Waved at and miss, and Hundley down. That's the 9th Padre to strike out tonight. Well, and watch closely in the postgame show, folks, how Mike Pomeranz holds onto that microphone.
Oh, yes.
That left-handed style. It's quite unique, and he'll never vary.
Well, he's left-handed.
Yeah, but it's just that right touch.
I think it's on the scouting report.
Decker to third for 1, but that's all they'll get. Safe on a fielder's choice. The put out at second. 5-4 of Headley, and the Padres are down to their final out. Pitcher's spot, and Marcotte will be the pinch hitter. Marcotte used last night, striking out the final out of the game. And taking second base is Decker. Defensive indifference. Now Kotze a chance to pick up an RBI. He is a pinch hitter this year. Kotze 8 for 48. 1 home run and 4 runs batted in. One ball and 1 strike to Kotze.
Those are good numbers, pinch hitting.
Well, you folks are getting a taste of why the Pirates are in first place in a tough division, National League Central, and a big game for them tonight to gain on both St. Louis and Cincinnati. Up the middle, gloved by the pitcher Hughes, and the ball game is over. The Pirates have taken the first two, 3-1 and 8-1. As we go to Padres Live and Mike Pomeroy.
Well, thank you, Mark. Coming up in the postgame show, got a great instructional. Mark Loretta shows us how to make the plays properly defensively. Infield practice, help you little leaguers and coaches. You're going to hear from Buddy Black, and we will preview the series finale for tomorrow.